I apologize. I should just be ready that Facebook's always going to make this fun and interesting for me. But we are here, and I am so excited to go live today to talk about the 3 buying triggers that has your ready to invest clients saying yes in just 24 hours. So if you're hopping on live with me, say hello. Let me know where you are and what you're drinking. What's in your cup this morning, whether that's water, coffee. I know we have people from all over the world, so tell me what you're currently drinking. And we're going to jump in. I'm going to go ahead and tag my amazing team in here. And then we're going to jump into this because this is one of those topics that, again, I get really excited about because when it comes to understanding buying triggers and understanding what makes people take action, oftentimes we get caught up in this idea of waiting weeks and months for our potential clients to actually say yes to working with us. So what I want to do today is share with you how I found and use these 3 triggers that help your ready to invest clients start saying hell yes in just 24 hours without you being pushy, without you using some fake scarcity or all this other stuff. And I'm going to show you how this has actually worked for myself and my clients to be able to do things like go from 2 call closes in hour-long sales calls into just one 20-minute long sales call that has clients eagerly saying yes. How we've closed $40K and booked business in just 1 week with 4 calls. That was one of my clients that was able to do that. And how one client went from hearing not right now for almost an entire month straight to booking out all of her one-on-one spots and filling her wait list for in just 90 days. I want you guys to understand what's possible with this because I see a lot of times we're taught and we think that creating the type of results we want in our business, having people being able to say yes, is something that's not really not available to all of us, and it's only available to some of us, or that if it is available to us, it's going to take a long period of time and we should just get used to that. So I'm going to literally pull back the curtains, show you exactly what I mean and why these 3 triggers are so freaking powerful and why they take away all the sleaze, all the pressure, all the stuff we're taught when it comes to tactics in sales, and it actually allows you to have people coming to you saying yes with their hands already raised before they get there. So as you're popping on, say hi, let me know what you're drinking in your cup this morning. I have coffee that I've made, so I'm excited to be drinking that. So tell me what you're drinking and we'll go ahead and jump right in as Julia is tagging people who RSVP'd. So here's what I want you to first understand, okay? When it comes to ready to invest clients, you need to understand that the way people purchase, the buying cycle for ready to invest clients looks very different than a client who needs a long sales cycle. So I want you to understand that. So the things we're going to tackle here today is I'm going to talk about how ready to invest clients actually purchase, what it looks like for their buying cycle, and why you may actually be using a sales cycle or sales process that's actually repelling those ready to invest clients and therefore attracting all those people who don't actually want to say yes. I'll break down the 3 triggers that make those ready to invest clients feel confident in saying yes in just 24 hours. And then I'll share with you the 13 words that I use at the end of every single sales calls to help my clients be able to share their fears and their objections and why that's so important. And I'll tell you why I never force or guilt people into things. I've never used pressure sales tactics to try and get people to work with me and why they always sign up anyways, okay? So for those of you who are new here, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. My name is Nazla Echeverry. I'm a business growth strategist and 18-year marketing expert. And I share with my clients how they can actually take cold leads and lurkers in their audience and convert them into paying premium clients in just 7 days using my Easy Yes method. So let's jump right in as we start talking about this. And I'm going to start by talking about how ready to invest clients actually purchase and why it's really important for you to understand the difference in the sales cycle for each. So if you've ever heard me talk about this at all, and I talk about it a lot, there's 2 different types of clients, right? There's the DIY clients and there's the premium style clients. Premium clients are simply put ready to invest people who already know they want to solve a problem. So if you understand that there's 2 buckets of people who aren't ready to purchase and people who are ready to purchase, you have to understand that sales cycles and marketing needs to be tailored to the type of client you want to attract, not to the type of people you're currently attracting. This was a huge game changer for me in understanding that if I felt like I was attracting a lot of freebie seekers or people who weren't ready to purchase, most likely my sales and marketing was gearing towards those type of people. And if I wanted to attract people who wanted to say yes, the ones who want to raise their hands and drop an emoji or a hands up in the comments, if that's you want to attract people who want to say yes, they're ready to invest, then you need to tailor your marketing and sales towards those people. In understanding that, I want you to see the difference between DIY sales cycles and ready to invest sales cycles, okay? I use the example of a dentist all the time because I feel like it's the easiest way to understand. So imagine that there's two different people who are seeking out or looking at dentists, okay? They're looking at the opportunity of having a new dentist in their area. So person number one is somebody who, knows they need a dentist. They know it's an important part of their dental hygiene and all that good stuff. But, is it top of mind for them? Not really. So they may be inactively or passively looking at different providers in their area and looking what's there. And so they land on a dentist who has, this whole process that you go through where you go through a quiz and then you answer some questions and then you get into their email funnel. And, over time, their goal is that that person who's just passively seeking maybe decides that they need them, right? Now, person number two, has a toothache. Their tooth is killing them. They're like in pain and they're seeking out a solution. They're like, this tooth is killing me and I need someone to fix this tomorrow. Now, if that person goes to dentist number one, lands on a quiz, goes through all the questions, gets into an email, they've already left because their tooth hurts. They want to solve that problem today, not 10 weeks from now, right? Now, instead, they go to dentist number two, and dentist number two has like a 24-hour policy where they bring you in quickly and you just literally go through and they show you exactly what they're going to do. And you don't have to start looking at anybody else because you've literally found the dentist who can solve your problem, not only right now, but in the way that you feel comfortable and allows you to say yes quickly, right? This is the problem. If you're tailoring your marketing, like I showed you in dentist number one, who's got this long process where go through this quiz, come over here, do this thing, you're going to attract people who don't want to make decisions, who aren't ready to make decisions, who are passively seeking out solutions, okay? So drop a P in the comments if you're understanding this and you understand that, oops, maybe I've been attractive to passively seeking people. Because when we recognize this and understand that we may have been speaking to the wrong version of our clients and using marketing and sales that is tailored to them, it shifts everything about how we do business. Versus when we look at the active seeking people who are actually sitting there saying, I have a toothache. I want to fix this toothache, not tomorrow, not 5 days from now, but right now. I'm seeing a lot of P's, right? This is what we do. We accidentally attract the passively seeking people because we don't recognize the difference. So what I want you to think about now is, how does your sales and marketing need to shift? What do you need to do in order to shift into really attracting the actively seeking people rather than the passively seeking people? So again, things like the ascension model, which is buy a low ticket offer, buy into another offer, all those things, those are tailored to passively seeking solutions, right? Things like funnels where you have to go through a bunch of emails in order to even get to where you need to be, passively seeking solutions. Things like, I'm gonna throw you into my Facebook group and hopefully you'll see enough content and you'll purchase from me, passively seeking solutions, okay? Actively seeking is someone coming here, here's what is it that you need, here's what I have, here's how I solve for that problem, and letting them seek into the next step, okay? So drop an A in the comments so I hear that you understand and you recognize that what you need to do is already identify that you are passively creating a passively seeking solution. You need to now transition into actively seeking solutions. You need to transition into a state of having a marketing and sales process that is tailored towards actively seeking solutions. Okay, the people who are looking for the dentist because their tooth hurts and they want to solve it right now. We don't want to be the dentist who's speaking to the wrong person, okay? So understanding that sets the foundation for everything I'm going to share with you after this point. So drop an A if you guys are understanding and you guys understand that now you want to slip into this new side of actively seeking solution people, right? The people who want a solution, the dentist number two, not dentist number one, okay? So what I want to do now is I'm going to share with you guys exactly those 3 triggers, okay? The 3 triggers that make those ready to invest clients raise their hands and say yes in 24 hours. Now, keeping in mind that, again, if your marketing and sales is already attracting the passively seeking, then it won't work because it's not for ready to invest clients. So it's about making that first initial shift and understanding the difference that all of these triggers are actually going to work. So funnels and long processes, all of those things are only going to push and repel away your audience. We want to be able to attract our ready to invest clients, okay? So here's what I want you to understand, and I'm going to start with a quick little story. In 2014, Casper, if you guys have ever heard the mattress brand Casper, was brand new into the marketplace. They were like a startup, they were just getting started, and they wanted to break in and make $1 billion in their business. Now, if you don't know anything about the mattress industry, it's a cutthroat industry. There's a lot of people with deep pockets who really know what they're doing and have the ability to be able to market to these big brands and big opportunities. And a lot of these mattress brands are actually marketing to other people to sell their mattresses versus direct to consumer. So direct to consumer is even harder. So in 2014, Casper comes in and decides they're going to be direct to consumer. They're going to sell their mattresses direct to consumers. They want to make $1 billion. They don't have deep pockets. They're a startup brand. And they're like, how the heck do we do this? So one of the things they got smart about was understanding triggers, understanding how people make buying decisions, so that rather than playing harder, right, like working harder to get those clients and spending a lot more money and time and energy to do that, they wanted to work smarter and attract people who wanted to invest in their offer, right? So what they ended up doing is understanding the triggers of how people purchase, and then aligning their marketing actions and their sales process to those people. So one of the things that they did was recognize that people who are looking for a mattress, right? There's two types of people, just like my dentist example. The type of people who are passively looking for a mattress because, oh, I should get a new mattress, and yeah, my mattress is kind of lumpy and it kind of bothers me, but it's not really bothering them to a point of wanting to purchase, right? There's the people who are actively seeking, are most likely gonna be the most active in the middle of the night, right? So they recognize that. They did the market research to understand the people who were actively seeking the solution was like between 1 and 3 a.m. And those people that were actively seeking a solution between 1 and 3 a.m. usually did so because they had some sleepless nights that were occurring because of specific life events. Things like a new baby, a new relationship, a new pet, something like that that threw everything off and took them out of, I'm not just passively seeking because my mattress sucks. It's, oh my gosh, I need to solve this because I'm already getting so little sleep. Okay, so drop a 1 if you guys understand, and you could see the difference. So Casper understood that they could either market to passively seeking people who were in it for like, yeah, I need a mattress. Eventually it's a good thing. I should get it at some point, which means long sales cycles, speaking to the wrong type of people, or they recognize that in certain life events, people move from passive to active really quickly because they're like, oh my gosh, I need a mattress, my neck hurts, my back hurts, I can't sleep, okay? Huge shift in the market because now they're not marketing to the people who are not ready to purchase. And therefore, they tailored their message, their marketing, to people who are in the right state. Because here's what I want you to hear. A message that speaks to people in the wrong state will only attract more people who aren't ready to purchase. Let that sink in. A message that speaks to the people in the wrong state will only attract more people who aren't ready to purchase. So when you know the state of action, the trigger that gets people to start taking action, this is trigger number 1, knowing the action state that gets people to move, that is a catalyst in their movement, right? Makes them realize they actually want to make a change and fix the problem, okay? You need to be able to understand when that point is, just like Casper understood that 1 to 3 a.m., these people who are having life events like, oh, I am having a new baby, or I had a new baby, I have a new relationship, and this person's sleeping over more, a new pet, all these things, it throws off the cycle and puts them into a state of action. In understanding that, we tailor our message to people in a state of action, okay? So drop action. I want you guys to hear this. I keep repeating it, but I want you to understand it's the people in a state of action. We want to speak to the state of action. So as an example, for a copywriter, this may be people who are in a state of action because they have an upcoming sales launch and they know they need a sales page. Versus somebody else who doesn't have launches, a sales page is an afterthought. It's a passive thought. It's okay, it's nice to have, not right now. Okay? When we speak to people in action state, or right as they're transitioning into action state, we now pull them in versus trying to push them into where they need to be. So for a weight loss coach, this may be somebody getting ready for a best friend's wedding when you're the bridesmaid. You're in an action state because you're like, holy crap, I have to wear this dress in front of 100 different people and I want to look good, versus them just saying, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds, but there's no action state. There's no catalyst that makes them want to do it. For a parenting coach, it may be after their child has failed another exam for not doing their homework because they can't get them to listen at home. That's that moment that it triggers that I can't keep doing this. They can't keep doing F's on their papers and not getting their homework done because it's the moment when enough is enough. Understanding that when that action state comes to play is huge, and you being able to identify that trigger and leverage that trigger is part of that. Because listen, we can't get them to purchase if we can't truly understand what pushes them to action on their own without us having to be the pusher. Okay? So drop pull if you want to be more of the pull. You don't want to be the person who pushes them and says, you have a problem. You should solve this problem. This problem is horrible. And I know that you need a solution for it. We don't want to do that. That's when people get tired. That's when people feel like sales and marketing sucks, is because it's so much effort on their part because they're pushing. You want to be the pull that says, hey, your neck hurts, it's 1 to 3 a.m. and you're just got a new dog and you're exhausted. Do you want this mattress? Pull them in, because now they're like, oh my gosh, I get this. I want this, right? Same thing goes for my copywriter who's putting people in the state of action because they're already looking, because they're in a sales launch. They're in sales launch. They're speaking and tailoring their message to that person. Weight loss coach, they're getting ready to be a bridesmaid in somebody's wedding. You want to pull, right? We want to pull them into us. So that's the moment when enough is enough. That's the trigger that in our brains, we mentally make a decision that I'm tired and I want to take action. Okay? When you understand that trigger for your audience, you tailor your messaging, your marketing, your sales process to those people, what they're struggling with, and identifying that and knowing, hey, you have an upcoming launch coming up. You need a sales page that rocks their world. Speak to the problem that they have at that exact state. Understand? Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense to you, okay? Next, and I'm gonna go into number 2. So that was trigger number 1. Trigger number 2 is answering the alternatives, okay? Here's where people get really funny about it. Our natural buying process, AKA how we make decisions in our business, is literally based around how we look at the solutions we're seeking out and how we identify the alternatives so our brain can make a decision, okay? Super simple stuff. Like, it's literally the psychology of how people make decisions. So if you want to sign clients who are yes, but also want to be able to get results, you need to understand what the alternatives these people are seeking out. I can't tell you how many times I talk to people, and granted, I've been in marketing for 18 years, so I'm nerd out on this kind of stuff, but making data-driven decisions, making decisions based on understanding your audience, knowing your competition. A lot of people don't know their competition. So when I ask them, hey, what is it? What's the alternative out there? What are other things people are being bombarded with or being told is the solution? They don't know what the alternative solution is. And therefore, they don't understand their audience, because your audience is literally looking at options, right? At the current state of purchase that they're in, where they're now like, I need a dentist, I need a mattress, I need a copywriter, I need a parenting coach, whatever it is, they've identified that they need that thing. We don't have to push. They've pulled themselves into identifying that, okay? Now, we need to know what are the alternatives to what they may be bombarded with. What are the things they're thinking in their heads? Should I do this or should I do that? Okay? So if you're here live with me, tell me, whatever your business is, what's an alternative to working with you? So I'm going to tell you my alternatives, which you may not even have realized. So as a business strategist, someone wants to level up their business, right? So there's the typical ones. There's like, hey, you should hire a business coach, or you should hire this, that, and another. But the ones that people don't realize are that people oftentimes, when they come seeking me, or when they come knowing that they want to solve for the problem, may be looking at, oh, I just need an OBM. Or, oh, I need to hire a virtual assistant. I need to increase my team. Because to them, their idea is the team solves the problem, right? But understanding the alternatives to what else may be out there that aren't always necessarily a direct correlation. So it may be, as a copywriter, maybe they're not looking for a copywriter, and instead they're looking at funnel software, right? What's the alternative to what they're seeking out right now when they know the result they want to get? A lot of people do not understand that it's okay if your audience doesn't understand that you're the solution, but you know that they understand the result they want to get. Okay? We want to be able to help people make the best decision possible. And the truth is, one of the most natural things that our brains are going to do is we're going to compare other options. We're going to compare our option, what we're serving to them, and then we're going to look at the alternatives. Whether that alternative is doing it on their own, working with someone else in the same field as you, or seeking out a solution that looks like it's going to solve for that problem. They're going to naturally seek comparisons so that they can weigh that option and make sure that they're making a sound decision. So if you're here live, I'd love to hear from you. What is the alternative to working with you? What's another solution? Whether it's a different solution or a different provider, I want you to think of what's the alternative to working with you. When you understand this, you understand the trigger that most people have to go through in order to make a decision to work with you. That means if someone's getting on a phone call with me, they're weighing the options of something else. Again, the other option could be doing it on their own. The other option could be, should I hire a VA or OBM, or should I get that other business coach? But they're weighing the alternatives, okay? People get really scared of competition. They get really scared of comparisons. But when you understand that when we recognize the alternatives, the comparisons, the competition, we can help people naturally make decisions in a way that we support them in understanding those and creating your differentiation. You can't do that if you don't know what alternatives they're seeking out. You can't help them make a decision. You can, you'd be pushing. And again, we're in the pull zone. You'd be pushing because you'd say, just trust me, buy this. Makes no sense whatsoever, right? But when we can say, I know what other alternatives you're seeking out. I know what else is on your plate that you're thinking about right now. I'm going to make it easy for you to see me as the only solution. I'm the only solution for you because I understand what other solutions are and I understand why they don't work for you. All of a sudden, their brains don't have to do all of the work. So we shortcut that sales process. We make it super crystal clear. We give them one straight pathway that leads directly to us. See the difference? So drop a 2 in the chat if you guys are understanding this. I know this is probably like a whole new way of how you're thinking about marketing and doing your business, but I need you to hear it loud and clear. So we want to create a straight line pathway to us where we are the holy grail of where they want to work with. We need to understand the comparisons. We need to understand the alternatives of what else they're seeking out so that we can actually say to them, here's why other solutions don't work. Here's the differentiation. So we can get in front of this idea of how their brains are thinking through the process and giving them us as the solution so that they no longer have to do all of that work. Shortcut that entire process. Because otherwise I'm putting them in a bucket of like, sure, go look at me and look at all the alternatives and hopefully in 90 days come back and decide I'm the right decision if I'm lucky. Okay, your offer is going to be comparable. I'm going to be totally real with you. A lot of people try to use offers as a comparison, like a way to differentiate themselves. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I 6 months ago had someone who said that they wanted to sign up to work with me. She was 100% in. She said, "Okay, Naz, give me what I need to know." I sent her over the video that outlines how my entire program works. She comes back a few days later and says, "Hey, I've decided not to work with you." She had literally watched the video of how my offer works, all the components in my offers, all the features and benefits, all the things that make it amazing and great, and had gone and duplicated that in her own business. Now, was I pissed? Heck yeah. It sucks, right? It sucks when people do stuff like that. But the point of that was my offer could be comparable because somebody's going to pull different ideas from here and there, right? They're going to create all the features and benefits that make you look like every other freaking person on the planet. I don't care who you are, how amazing you are, how incredible your offer is. And I say this as someone who I can tell you right now, my offer is incredible. But my offer is going to look side by side like anybody else's offer because it's got the same components. Hey, you got some trainings. Hey, you got some calls. Hey, you got some stuff. That's comparable. I see so many people focusing all of their time and attention on, I'm going to make an offer that's irresistible. It's going to have so many bonuses, it's going to blow people's minds. But the truth of the matter is, your offer is going to look just like your competition's offer. Don't care how beautiful it is. Someone can rip that off and do it 100 times over. I get it that they're not going to do it the way you do it, but people aren't buying into the offer. They're buying into how you solve the problem. Okay? I'm going to say that again. They are not buying into the offer. They are buying into how you solve the problem in a way that nobody else can. So I don't care how many people rip off my offer and try to make it look just like my offer. My methodology literally is something that nobody else has. It's literally trademarkable. It's literally something that I created out of the marketplace of everything else that existed, created a way that there was no other alternatives. In doing so, I can have a conversation with someone, tell them what I do, and they can say, oh my gosh, nothing else out there like that exists. Okay? That's what my clients and I do. We create the intellectual property, the proprietary methodology, so that you are not comparable and that you can actually show why all these other solutions haven't worked and how you solved for that gap. Yes. Okay? Drop a yes if this is making sense to you guys. Okay? And then I'm going to go into number 3. So that was number 2. Drop a yes. I just want to make sure you guys are following along with what I said. We're going to recap real quick. Trigger number 1. Trigger number 1 is uncovering their action triggers, knowing what gets them to actually move into a state of action and not just in a state of passiveness. We don't want to be the push, we want to be the pull. Okay? Number 2 is answering the alternatives, knowing what is out there as an alternative, recognizing that so that you can actually position yourself. If you don't understand how you can position yourself in the market, it doesn't work, right? So my clients literally do this because we build proprietary methodology that makes it where you are a straight line. You are the only option because we've identified all of those components and made that. Number 3 is trust. Let's just get real. And this is going to sound boring, but I'm going to show you what I mean by this. So know, like, and trust is like that thing that's thrown around by every single coach out there, right? Oh, hey, you need know, like, and trust. And everyone's like, that sounds cool. How the hell do I do that, right? Or, great, I need know, like, and trust, but it's going to take me 6 to 9 months to get there because no one's going to trust me overnight. Wrong. Truth is, you can build know, like, and trust in days. And I'm talking like 24 hours, 48 hours. It's absolutely possible. I've done it 100 times over. My clients do it again and again as well. Here's the problem. You cannot build trust with so much intrigue, giving them so much information, or too much pressure. So too much intrigue, too much to decipher, or too much pressure instantly pushes people away from being able to trust you, okay? When you understand this and you hear people talk about this, you need to recognize that building know, like, and trust doesn't take 3 to 6 months. Here's what you need to do in order to do that. Number 1, show them how. Guys, I'm sorry, but if you tell me that you're an incredible coach, you're an incredible consultant, you're an incredible healer, but you can't show me how you're incredible, what gets me to the result of where I need to go, then you've wasted my time and it's not going to work. Because you can build a business based on intrigue, but it's going to take a heck of a whole lot of work and a whole lot of push. So show them how you get to the solution. How do you resolve their problem in a way that nobody else can? Which leads me to number 2, create an innovative solution, okay? I'm sorry, but if you're simply just like, I'm going to be a coach and I'm going to do what everyone else is doing, but I'm going to do it the same way, then you're going to always have to push. Creating an innovative solution to a problem that exists all the time is always going to have people coming to you. You're going to create demand instead of chasing demand, okay? Huge, big change. Number 3 is share your expertise and your personality, okay? I will tell you, it's crazy to me how many times I get on a call with people and people say to me, you look and sound just like your videos. Well, yeah, of course I do. My content, what I do in my marketing is exactly who I am in my delivery. Do not catfish people, okay? Build rapport. And when you understand someone's story, you can do what we call connect the dots. So connecting the dots is understanding their current state, understanding where they want to be, understanding the alternatives and all the triggers that happen, and then connecting the dots for them. If you think about the fact that your audience doesn't have the time, the energy, the space to be able to connect the dots to all the pieces, when you connect the dots for them, they instantly make decisions, okay? So when you can do that for them, when you can understand current state, where they are, remember we talked about the action trigger, when you understand the action trigger of where they are right now, you use your message to understand and let them know that you understand that. You use your positioning, which is step number 2, right? Being able to understand the alternatives and position yourself as the only solution. Then you can then connect the dots from all of those pieces into the how, which is how do you deliver your offer? How do you deliver something? And remember, it's not about the offering, it's how do you solve the problem? What is your methodology in solving the problem, and why is that the solution that blows everything else out of the water? Okay? So that was number 3. I'm going to tell you my little secret, the 13 words that I use at the end of every single sales call to help my audience, my prospects, share their fears and objection. Yes, I want my audience to share their fears and objection. I ask them every single time, is there any reason that this wouldn't be a good fit for you right now? Sounds scary to a lot of people. For me, I love it because I want to outwardly call out the fact that they may have some objections, and I'm not going to resolve their objections and push them, but I want them to feel confident. So at the end of every single sales call, I ask that. Is there any reason that this doesn't feel like a good fit for you right now? And guess what? If it doesn't feel like a good fit for them, I allow them that. I give them the space to decide that maybe right now is not that good fit, but they always end up coming back to me because they understand that I'm not pushing, I'm pulling. Okay? Huge difference in our business when we understand these 3 triggers. We give people the space to be able to do that and be able to let them object, let them feel that, is this the right time for me? And in doing so, when we call it out, we call out the fear, we call out the objection of, is there any reason that this wouldn't be a good fit? It gives them the time and the space to say, no, there's not. Because guess what? Almost every single time I ask that question, people will come to me and say, no, there's really not any reason. And when they say that out loud, now they've literally propelled themselves to the next step of purchase. Oh my gosh, yes, this is what I need. And no matter what, whether it's literally in that moment or they come back 3 months from now, they purchase because I don't push, I give them the opportunity. But I do have other pieces within that that make them want to purchase right now. So it's more often than not, I'd say 90% of the time people are purchasing right then and there because I've allowed them to do that. Okay? This is why my easy yes method works so well, because it's not a push, it's a pull. Very first thing I do with my clients is literally help them build their proprietary methodology. I help them create the literal space of where they are the market of one. There is no other solutions out there. It is only them. We position them like that. We give them the messaging of exactly how to drive people into their business so that they can be saying yes within hours. Within 24 to 48 hours, people can say yes. Step 2 is we build a sales system that is tailored to the ready to invest client, not to the client who isn't ready. So we literally we create a sales system built on what we call bingeable authority. It leverages the psychology behind why Netflix is able to get people hooked on shows in such a quick way. We literally use a bingeable authority system so that people can fall in love with you in moments. My client literally just put up her bingeable authority last week and she said, Naz, I had 4 people who said yes, 4 people who said yes to like going through her system, free system, and then coming out the other end saying, yes, I want to work with you. Moving on to the next step. Because the difference is we tailor our sales system to the people who want to say yes. And the bingeable authority system literally positions you by showing exactly how you do things and why that's the solution and why your innovative solution solves for that problem. And the last thing we do is what we call results and retention. Because here's the deal. You can be amazing in the marketplace. I've been in this marketplace for 11 years. People come back to me and they say, oh my gosh, Naz, you're still talking about the same thing. You're still doing the same thing. Yes, because I deliver results. I don't just change every 5 minutes to try and get what people want. My market knows that I'm going to get them results. And so my audience is literally shouting my names from the rooftops because I deliver results again and again for my clients. So we create what's called a results and retention process for you, a results mechanism in your business so that whether you're working with 1 client or 100, you can deliver the same results over and over again. Okay? That's how the Easy Yes method works. If you're listening to this and you're saying, oh my gosh, this is incredible, this is exactly what I need, then drop easy in the comments and we will reach out to you and chat with you how this works. Okay, I want to share with you exactly how this works and how we can help you do exactly the same thing using our Easy Yes method. Why 400 plus of my incredible clients have been able to do this without push, but pull, having people come to them. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this training. I hope to hear from you guys. If you guys have questions, drop them in the comments, send me a DM. We'll be more than happy to support you. But again, make this as easy for your audience as possible. Instead of trying to push, create the pull. Leverage easy ways for people to be able to say yes. Sam and Cynthia will reach out to you, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.